After 3 weeks of not working on my novel for various reasons like travel, injury, and just procrastination, I finally got back into a routine. And while it's not perfect, I have consistently written this past week way more than I have in the last 3 weeks of August. So, what did I do? Well, first, I had to set new goals. So, if you watched any of my last videos, then you know that I wanted to have my first novel finished by the end of this year. Hey, editing Ashley here. I keep on saying novel, but I definitely don't mean that I wanted to finish like the entire novel by the end of this year. I just want to finish the first draft of the novel. Just wanted to make that clear. So the goal is to finish the first draft of this novel by the end of the year. Okay, back to the video. With 85,000 words written, and that's just not possible anymore. I do still want to finish my novel by the end of this year, but I don't really care how many words it takes me to get to the end, and it might look like less than 85,000 because I am not pushing myself to write extra words just because I spent the last 3 weeks not writing. However, I still have the story in my head, and instead of focusing on a word count goal, I want to focus on two things. One, just writing consistently every day for 20 minutes. So I don't care if I write 1,000 words or 200 words. As long as I've taken the time to write, I'll feel like it was a successful day. And then two, I want to finish my novel, even if that means I only have 65,000 words written for this first draft, because there will be many more drafts, so the word count doesn't really bother me too much for this first draft. Okay, so the next thing I did before jumping right into writing was actually rereading the last few pages of what I had written. And this made me feel way less overwhelmed because it gave me new ideas for how to continue my story instead of just jumping right into writing and hoping that I had some ideas without having any previous context of what I had written. Because after 3 weeks, I kind of forgotten where I really was in the story. Okay, so a bonus tip related to reading. So tip 2.5 would be to not just read your own story, but continue reading in general so that you can have a lot of ideas. I know for me, sometimes I get really stuck. I might have an overall idea for where I want my story to go, but then I get stuck with some of the other details that I need to make the story more interesting. And not just reading, but consuming all kinds of media. So when I was on the plane, I watched a movie that weeks later gave me an idea. And I'm not talking about copying exact moments from books or movies, but taking inspiration from them and seeing how you can combine them with your already existing idea. So now I feel really excited for the movie I watched and incorporating the small detail they had into my story, and I'm feeling really inspired and motivated. And kind of going along with tip 2 is making an outline. I know a lot of people don't like outlining. I don't really like outlining. And so I'm all about making a simple outline that just has some key moments for your story. And this has been really helpful for me in the past week because if I have some really big key moments that I know I'm working towards, then that helps me figure out smaller things that I need to do in order to get to that big destination. And in general, I just have an idea for where my story is headed. And it didn't take me more than 10 minutes to come up with a really simple outline because I wasn't being overly detailed. I wasn't planning out every little thing. I was just thinking about really big, exciting moments. So when I got back into writing, I had smaller things that I could write about that would lead to that bigger event happening. And I think I've kind of talked about this before, but I kind of forgot about that. And so going back to thinking about those bigger key moments has been really helpful in jumping back into writing. So something that I was kind of doing sometimes, but that I'm definitely doing more of now is changing up where I'm writing within my apartment. So I work from home, so sitting at my desk for 8 hours and then continuing to write after work, it just feels like I'm working too much, and I don't like feeling like writing is part of my normal day job. And so I usually don't like to move my computer around because I have my second monitor attached to it and just other things attached to my computer that make it kind of annoying to move around. But I decided to get over that. It doesn't take very long to unplug things. And now I move my computer next to the couch. So after dinner, if I want to turn on some TV, I can have TV on in the background, grab my laptop and start working on my story while I'm also watching TV. So now I'm just finding more times throughout my day when I actually can write, because I don't like sitting at my desk where my computer is, but now that I'm moving my computer away from my desk, I feel like I can reach my computer a lot easier now and write a lot more throughout the day, which I've been really enjoying. Another thing I want to do, but I haven't done yet, is actually going out to coffee shops or just out of my apartment to write, but it's a bit cold down here in New Zealand right now, so once it warms up, then I'll probably feel more like leaving my house. But for now, I'm just gonna roam around inside and right here, but I would love to just go to the park or go to a coffee shop to write for a few hours and just have a nice change of scenery. The last thing I did was just being kind to myself. I didn't expect to take a long break. I didn't expect to take a break at all. I thought while traveling I would still have the motivation to do it, and then I didn't, and then I came back and I still had no motivation to get back into writing, especially because I got a little injured during my trip. And I started to feel really bad about it. But now I'm actually extremely excited to jump back into writing. So I think I needed that break in order to have more inspiration and more enthusiasm about writing. So if you've taken a short or long break from writing, it's okay. It happens. Just ease yourself back into it and get to writing. Also, I hit 20,000 words a few days ago. I'm actually past that now, and I haven't done anything to celebrate like I said I would. So I need to think of some fun ideas to celebrate hitting 20,000 words, because that is a huge milestone for me. I have never written this many words before aside from school stuff. So I want to celebrate, and if you're hitting some milestones, you should also celebrate as well. So leave a comment down below with how you would celebrate hitting one of your writing milestones, or share a tip for how you overcome your procrastination and get back into writing.